Well, again, good evening. My name is Latrina Artis. I am delighted to be with you on tonight. I am here along with my colleague Chelsea. We are here to answer your questions. So I want you to fire away here in just a second. I'll let Chelsea introduce herself to everybody. I want to ask that you utilize the chat if you can't come off mute for whatever reason, or if you just feel more comfortable utilizing the chat. Chelsea is there in the chat, ready to assist you, and I will follow and go along with it. So of course I can address them within the recording as well. Okay, so again, my name is Latrina Artis. I am the Scholar Grant Program Director at the Foundation. I have I think I feel the best of both worlds, because just about 12 years ago, I guess, I was a ranking scholar. So guess what I was doing? The same thing that you're doing now. Well, we didn't have this call, but I was going through the application process to submit for every scholar grant that I could possibly apply for. I did. So just so you know, I get it. I understand. And I'm, again, excited to be here with you on tonight. Chelsea, if you want to introduce yourself, and then we'll get going.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chelsea Bellin. I'm in Oregon currently, but originally from Missoula, Montana. I'm visiting family, so you might hear a little bit of ruckus in the background, my kiddos, but I'll be monitoring the chat and here to help. Nice to meet everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Chelsea. Awesome. Again, welcome everyone. I will kind of tell you how I like to facilitate the call in this way so I can make sure I get around to everyone. So normally what I will do is go in the order that I see you on my screen. That may not be the order that it is on your screen, but that way I can make sure I've checked everybody off by the time we end this call. I ask that you hold every time I come around to one question minimum, if you would. And so that makes sure that I can at least get to you one time. If you have multiple questions and you're like, oh, I don't think they're going to get to it, utilize that chat. Okay. And I promise you, we'll speed it up. We'll get all of your questions answered. So let's jump right in. First on my list is I have Marion. Marion from Tennessee. Do you have a question for us tonight?
No, ma'am. I'm just listening and learning.
Awesome. Well, awesome. We're glad that you're here, Marion. Have you started your application?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Way to go, Marion. Woo-hoo. All right. Pamela, do you have a question for us?
No, I don't have a question. I'm like Marion. I'm here to learn and listen, and I have not started my application yet.
Oh, Pamela, why
not? Because I just finished finals.
That's a great look. That's a great reason. I get it. So yay. Congrats on finishing your finals. I know that can be a little taxing. So congrats to you.
Very.
Hopefully you had a really good semester in the grade.
It was.
Awesome.
It was successful. So now it's time to focus on this during my school break.
Nice. Awesome. Well, look, again, you got a real valid reason for not having gotten started. So
thanks.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Next up, Kelly from Alabama. You got a question for us? Kelly, if you're talking, you're on mute. So you would need to unmute. And if you don't have
there we go. Sorry. I'm just listening right now. I just started applying at some scholarships. So I'm just listening in to see what it's all about.
Awesome. Awesome. All righty, as long as you've gotten started. And the reason I asked that specifically, I want you to give yourself time. I mean, it's, I don't say, I mean, some people may say it's an intense application. I don't. Now, if there's a checklist that's in the beginning when you first get going, I would highly recommend you look at that checklist. That checklist will help you to expedite. And as a matter of fact, when I get through everybody, I think I should be able to get through everybody. I'll pull that checklist up. So Chelsea, are you able to go in your application and grab that checklist? So if so, we can definitely pull up the checklist so you can kind of see what it is that you need to have handy. That'll hopefully help expedite your timing as you get into the application portal. Okay. All right. Amber, you got a question for us?
Yes, I have a question. I already started my application, and I see that that you have a section that for volunteer work. will that, if I don't have volunteer work, will that affect my application?
That is a wonderful question, Amber, and I don't know that I've ever had that question. No, ma'am, it will not. Let me tell you why it will not affect your application. And we put it there because sometimes, say for instance, for homemakers, that's all they do have is because if they've been at home with the kids and they haven't worked, they've done a lot of volunteering. So that just goes to show how they have been able to give up their time, whereas other individuals that are applying are working full time. If you're working full time, and let's just say you got children and trying to go to school, where do you have time to volunteer?
Right.
You really
That's my
don't.
situation. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and yeah, I take
Yeah,
care of the kids, and I'm doing my
absolutely.
schoolwork as well.
Yeah.
So,
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
okay. I just,
We
yeah,
will
that was
not
just me.
penalize. No, ma'am. We do not penalize anyone if you don't have awards, if you don't have any volunteer experience, that's fine. I mean, if you're running behind, look, 2 or 3, younger kids, trust you me, your hands are full. And
Yeah.
trying to go to school, woo, yeah,
Right. Right.
yeah. So no, ma'am, that's not nothing in the application is held against you. The only thing, and I wouldn't say that it's held against you. The only advice that I would give as you're in the application, there are some points of it that I would say maybe weighted a little heavier, and those are those personal statement questions. We
Okay.
ask you for, kind of pretty much your greatest accomplishment, what you're most proud of. Those questions, flush those questions out. I mean, flush your answers out, excuse me. As
Right.
you're answering that information, I think one of the questions that asks, what is one of your greatest accomplishments or greatest accomplishments? And I'm going to give you a real answer that somebody put. And they
Mm.
said children. And I'm not saying that's a great accomplishment, but what was so great or what's so great about your children? Now,
Right.
you may have this whole thought in your mind as to what you mean when you say children, but be mindful that you have some individuals that will be reading your application that know nothing about you. So you just want to make sure you give as much information and detail about whatever it is that you're listing in those questions that we ask you. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Well, thank you. And again, Amber, thank you for asking that question. I'm telling you, I don't, and I've been doing it now for what, 5 years, this applicant
Ah,
support. So I've never had that question come up. So you'll jog my memory to probably mention that question when we're asking.
awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome. Happy applying. Myra, do you have a question for us?
Yes. Hi, Latrina, and everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. Hear you perfectly.
Okay, and I have started the application. And however, unfortunately, I learned about your program at the last minute. And the classes start January 3rd. So, and then I just lost a full-time job.
Mm.
So I'm just, I know God will make a way out of no way. I'm praying that, something will come up. I do get retirement, so that's a help. So I'm a late bloomer, but I don't feel bad, because life gets in the way and things get put on hold, and but I appreciate your program being out here, and I hope to finish the application tonight, really.
Okay. Well, did you have a specific question for us, Myra?
Oh yes, I do. Now the application asks if how many persons are in the home. My son and adult daughter are here, and my son is moving out actually this week. So should I still list him as, because He's been here.
No, ma'am. So
Oh.
if he's no longer gonna be in your household, and for this, another great question. When you're listing individuals, that question that it asks, it pretty much is for individuals that you are almost, if you would, partnering with in your household. And when I say partnering with, whether that's a maid, whether that's children, whether that's like a mom or dad, it's almost like I'm going to use the word roommating. And when I say roommating, I want to use it in a sense that you understand that you are coming together to support your household. You share the expenses, things of that nature, and you have a shared household. Now, if they are dependents, you still list them as being counted in your household, but you do not have to include their income. So say, for instance, with your son, Myra, I'm not quite sure how old your child is, but depending on how old they are, if they are working age, for every adult in your household that is contributing to your household, you would need to include their income. So that's why I say if he's moving out, then no, ma'am, do not include him. Okay. So it would just be you. And I think you said the one other person.
Yeah, my daughter,
in your household. And again, if she's contributing and if y'all are cohabitating together and have shared responsibility in that household, that's where you would need to provide documentation for, you and her.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Awesome. Awesome. Andrea, I have you next up on list.
Yes, I'm here. So, question, is there a way that I could go back and update my transcripts? Because I put the wrong ones in.
Andrea, I need you to hang out with me after this call. So you're going to have to hang out and we can see what we could possibly do. We can't edit. We cannot make any edits to your application. This is why I say proceed with caution when you're in there. The system will not allow us to make any tweaks. And that's really for your protection. Because if we go in there and do something and do it incorrectly, then it could be like, oh, well, I didn't do that. You did it. And then, of course, it gets to be a tug of war. We don't ever want that to happen. So stay on with me, Andrea, after the call, and I'll look. Chelsea, matter of fact, is this the name, how it's listed in the application, Andrea Harris? Okay.
Yeah.
Chelsea, can you see if there's a submitted application for Andrea? And Andrea, come on, I want to talk this through. I'm not putting you on the spot, but I want you to talk about it where you said you uploaded the wrong one. What did you upload?
So the transcripts that I uploaded, they were from the semester prior, but I wanted to show on my transcripts my upcoming classes, and the one that I submitted didn't have my upcoming semester on it.
Well, that's not incorrect. That's not incorrect. That's fine.
But I still wanted to show how I ended this current semester.
I got you. Listen,
if that makes sense, because I did good this semester, and I would like for it to show.
Listen, Andrea, I'm really putting you out there. The previous semester, was it a not so good semester?
Oh no, it was a good. It's just that this one represents me.
Okay, I got you. I will say this. One thing that we do not, again, I think it was who was it, Amber, I believe, that asked me the question about will anything be held against you? No, we don't even hold your grades against you now. Mindful now. If you've withdrawn and failed every class now, let me be real clear. However, we understand life's it does. And when that happens, we understand that sometimes it may not be just that 4.0 semester, and that's okay. But when we see that you're still plugging away at it, that shows us perseverance and resilience. That shows us that even amidst whatever life is life then thrown at you, you didn't quit, that you're staying the course. Okay. So just know our foundation totally looks at your application probably different than any other foundation probably ever will. So no, you're good. I thought that maybe it was just totally all the way and incorrect. You can still stay on with me, but we're not going to alter that application because we have to do some finagling. And so yeah, Chelsea, is she good? Chelsea, give it a thumbs up on here.
Christmas tree
Yeah.
up.
Chelsea said,
Christmas
matter
tree
of fact,
up.
you get 2 thumbs up, Andrea.
Okay.
You're good.
Christmas tree
Okay.
up.
Talking about the lights.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome,
Talking
dear.
about the
All right, Catherine, you're up. Do you have a question for us? Catherine from Wisconsin. If you're talking, Catherine, we can't hear you, so you'll have to unmute yourself. And if you don't have a question, that's okay. I don't know, Chelsea, has she chimed in the chat? Let's see. Okay. All right, Catherine, if you do have a question for us later, come back and we're going to keep it moving. I'll certainly come back to you or put something in the chat if you're not in a position to speak. Joanne from Texas, do you have a question for us? And again, Joanne, if you're talking, we cannot hear you. You do. There you
Right.
go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Thank you and hi, everyone. I do have a question. I did not start this application process yet.
Okay.
And one of my questions is to make sure that I'm at the right website. So I needed the website address. And also
Yeah.
I wanted to know if approved for the scholarship, how long does it take before the available funds are applied to the registration costs or fees?
Yes, great question. Chelsea will drop where you're in Texas, so it's the national one.
Yes.
She will drop the link in there. I want you to go to the website. It's an eligibility quiz. First of all, Joanne, make sure you're eligible. That's step number 1.
Okay.
So once you go, so Chelsea, if you want to drop the national type form in there as well. So take that quiz before you even go into the application. This will save you time, effort, and energy. Okay. Because
Okay.
if you're not eligible, don't want you to go in there and apply.
Thank you.
Once you do that type form and it says, hey, you're eligible to apply, then of course come back and log into the website and get started with your application. Funds are made available not until, listen to me, please hear me, funds will not be available for this particular scholar grant until August, so the fall of 2024. Okay. We're currently open. The application cycle is open and it does not close until February the 16th. Okay. Once it closes, then all applications go into review. Once they go into review, that takes about 2.5, 3 months. And so normally for that fall, that would be the first disbursement for those who are awarded a scholar grant. That makes sense to everybody?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, that's good for you, Joanne. You got me on that?
I sure do. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for asking that question. And another great question. Awesome, awesome. All right, Sadie. I think is it Sade? Sadie? How am I pronouncing that? I don't have a state from. It's S-A-D-E. You got a question for us?
I'm sorry. Hello, good evening. I guess one of my questions would be, what are specific things that you all are looking for the applicants that are selected? What type of attributes do they show? And like what might that look like on the application process?
Great question. We're not look. I can't tell you that. I don't want to say, okay, we're looking for somebody that has a 4.0. Absolutely not. We're looking for someone who has just decided that education is the vehicle that's going to get them to wherever they want to go in life. And when I say, I can't say attributes because I'm going to use somebody that's working on their cosmetology certification. versus somebody who may be working on, just a semester from completing their bachelor's, or I'll say a year, because we don't want to use a semester, which they still will be eligible if they have a semester left. Their aspirations are totally different. So if I give you attributes, guess what's going to happen? You're going to write to satisfy those attributes that we write or we say that we're looking for. Whereas the attributes that the person that's working on the cosmetology degree is probably totally different than the individual that's working on their nursing and just a short while away. What I would suggest is that as you're writing about it, is it Sadie? Is it Sade? How am I want to, I'll butcher a name. I apologize in advance.
No, you're fine. It's Sade, like the singer.
Okay. So as you're in that application, Sade, you know yourself better than any of the individuals who will be reading your application. You decide what are the qualities and attributes and the things that you want to note and list about you, so that the individuals that are reviewing your application can get a full understanding of who you are as an individual, who you are as a student, if you're a parent, who you are as a parent, who you are as a friend. Okay. These are the things that will now almost supplement and complement your application. And whatever those qualities and attributes are, I can't tell you what they are for you. But guess what? Who does know? You do. And I guess she's like, she just gave me this blank answer. It really isn't. I think it's a powerful answer that I give to you because you're the best person to write that statement out for us to read. And then, I'm sure you've read something, you're like, wow, that was amazing. I think it was amazing of all the things that I've read, and even in the applications, are those individuals who have truly decided, you know what, I'm going to give them everything I can give them about me, let them know who I am, give supporting thoughts and comments, and, give supporting details to explain why you are the best mother ever, why you're the best friend, why you're the best student ever, So those are the things that we're looking for as you're getting in there and really being detailed. If I could give you any tip, just make sure, as I shared earlier, make sure you flush out everything that you put in there. If you say, I'm the best mom in the world, okay, why? If you say, I'm the best student in the world, why are you the best student? Matter of fact, why does one of your professors say you're the best student? Of course. And then if they say you're the best student, that's probably who you want to get to write a letter of recommendation for you.
I was just about to ask that question about
okay,
letters
we're
of
going to come back to
recommendation.
the letter of rec one at a time so I can get
Okay.
through everybody. I'll come back to you, Sade, because we
Okay.
don't have many on the call tonight. All right, but I'll come back. And matter of fact, I'm just going to put a little note for letter of rec. All right. Shaquita, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correct. Do you have a question for us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Okay, well, I had just completed my associates in healthcare administration, but I am going to go back to obtain my bachelor's in March. Will I still be able to apply?
Yes, absolutely. Good for you. Congratulations on completing your associates. Absolutely. As long as you do not already have a bachelor's degree, you are eligible. I mean, and you meet the income criteria, you're attending an accredited college or university. It's a not-for-profit school, all of the eligibility. If you meet all of that, please get in there and apply. And please, 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 ma'am, get in there and apply. Thank you for asking that. Okay. All right. Caller, it says call in user 1 is how it's listed on my end. Do you have a question?
That could be me. I don't know how many callers you have.
Yes,
okay.
It's you.
Okay. Me is Michelle from North Carolina.
Hi, Michelle from North Carolina.
Hi. I actually attended the first session as well. But I did not attend the second one, so I don't know if this has been put out there. But I have a very, very specific question regarding income level, because I pulled up the Department of Labor's lower living standard, and according to the foundation, there's a household size and there's an annual income, and I could be hovering around that level. It just depends on how exactly they come up with that number, because there's a gross and there's a net. And it doesn't clarify what that's going off of for the income level.
Okay, Michelle, can you chat privately with Chelsea? Chelsea, can you look at the income for Michelle?
I can't chat on the phone.
Okay. Stay on with me after the call. Who did I tell? Uh-oh, let me put an asterisk. And I can, so Michelle, let me write my name down so I'll forget. All right. And Andrea was good, so I think it looks like she's jumped off. All
I
right.
got the
Stay on
same
with me.
question.
No, I'm here,
Okay.
but I'm good. I'm just listening.
Yeah, you're good. All right. So, and I see you up there, Marion. I'm coming back to you. Jennifer, who's waited so patiently with that cute baby. You got a question for us?
Hi guys. Yeah, I know. I was actually just looking at my taxes too, because I did submit my well, I haven't sent everything in yet, but the documents I have attached were for 2022. My
Okay.
tax documents, right?
Yes.
And I'm thinking, gosh, I was just gonna look and see how much that is, because I'm going from a worker with no child. I brought this little girl home last year, and then just work ended and school began, right? So sorry, I don't know why I said all that. I just got caught up in our last question. Oh my gosh, sorry about that. Hey, my question was, I was looking at this list of stuff we need, documentations, right? It says acceptance or welcome letter.
Yes.
Is that from my college, or just is I guess transcripts and whatnot? Does that qualify?
Yeah, so that's only the acceptance and or welcome letter is only if you're a new student. Okay.
Okay.
That would be for only those who have not started taking any classes or do not have a transcript just yet. Okay. Because some
Okay, good.
individuals may not have gotten that far. So you're considered an actual new student. Thank you, Chelsea, for dropping the income. Chelsea just dropped the income guidelines in the chat. Okay, so if you'll look at that, that lets you know, Michelle, what your income can be, and you still we can chat a little privately thereafter. So cool.
Yeah, I've seen the guidelines from Jeanette Rankin Foundation, what
Yes.
they actually list, but it doesn't clarify on that what the difference between the gross and the net is. So, and I can't see what Chelsea put up because I'm on the phone.
Okay, so depending on how many is in your household, and I'll just
3.
tell you. So for 3-person household, it's 52,863 or below.
Yep, I can see that.
Okay.
Exactly. But it doesn't clarify how you get that number.
So that's what your gross should be for the year.
That is the gross that's coming off of.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and let me be a little more specific. It comes off your adjusted gross, adjusted AGI. I was going to say AGI, but which is your adjusted gross income that comes off your taxes.
Okay, so gross on paychecks is very, very different from gross or adjusted gross income on a tax form. So that if it is from the adjusted gross income, the AGI, that makes a really big difference, because gross on a paycheck is before taxes, before
insurance and all that.
Insurance and all that. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on your taxes. It's on your taxes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Good.
Latrina,
Yes, ma'am.
there was a clarifying private message about if that includes disability income. Could you address maybe some of those supports?
Yeah. So for disability, as long as you're still at or below that number, okay, for your household size, that's what you just need to look at. It doesn't matter if, say for instance, if I don't know. Look, unless you got great disability, being at 52,000 for a three-person household in 3-person household size. Not saying that wouldn't happen, but it could. So as long as you're at or below that number, you would qualify. And for disability, you wouldn't, if you don't file taxes, that's okay. But you do get like an annual letter that you get from the disability office that says, hey, I'm going to use Shaquita. Shaquita was awarded, $1,100 monthly for her disability income. And that's just, you would upload that letter. That's your documentation. So if you don't file taxes, that's okay. Say, for instance, if you are on any type of like governmental assistance like TANF, if you receive SNAP, things like that, if you're even on unemployment, that's still a way for you to be able to provide documentation of what your earnings are. Okay, so these are all means of documentation that you can upload to support your income. Okay, so did I answer? Hopefully I answered your question about the disability income and being able to just provide and upload documentation to support it. What I will say, whatever you enter into your household income, your documentation needs to match and support that. So again, if you say you make, $20,000, please don't upload documentation that says 70,000 unless, I'll take that back, unless you have now received a separation notice and you have proof that you're now working at a job where your income would qualify you to participate. And 70,000 still could qualify you depending on the number in your household. So don't let that number throw you, okay? Okay. Chelsea, did you get a response from the one that asked about the private message about the disability? I just want to make sure I answered that question.
Not yet, but I'll let you know if something comes up.
Awesome. All right, let me get back. So Jennifer, did I answer your question, dear?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't remember what my question was. Oh, yeah. About the letter. Yep, I'm already established in school. Sorry. But you know what I was noticing? I'm like, shit. So I was looking at my taxes from 2022. So is that what we use? We don't use, well, we haven't done taxes yet.
Right now. And if you think you will have done your taxes, this is where I say, especially if the income has changed drastically. If you, I don't tell people to rush and do your taxes. However, if your income has changed drastically and could make you be eligible based off your income for when you're filing for your 23 taxes, I would say wait to submit your application until you have filed your taxes for the upcoming year. Okay. If it doesn't matter and you're still in the same boat, don't wait. Go ahead and get in there, get everything uploaded, get it submitted earlier rather than later. Because I promise you, you'll forget it. And what could happen probably will. And then you'll have wasted all of that time, effort, and energy. So we don't want you to do that. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Cool beans, Jennifer. All right, Marian, thank you so much for your patience. You got a question for us, right?
I'm talking to Chelsea, I think.
Okay, awesome. Cool. Go, Chelsea. So your question, you're good? You good to go?
Go ahead, Marian.
No, I want it to be private. Chelsea gonna help me.
Okay.
Thanks, Marian. I like you too.
Awesome. Okay, too funny. Cool beans. All right, let's go back to, who did I put a star by? Catherine, I wasn't able to get you off mute and or you couldn't come off on mute, so wanted to see if I could circle back to you to see if you had a question for us. All right, and let me say this, Chelsea has put it in the chat. if you come up, if something comes up and you have a question after we get off this call, you can send us a message to info@rankinfoundation.org. Okay. So you can still reach out to us after we get off this call. And we're back here every Wednesday night, all the way through January the 31st, answering questions and hopefully providing support for you to get you through the application cycle. All right. Now, I noted here that I would come back to this about the letters of rec. I think, was it, Sade, I believe, I can't remember. I'll butcher it, but who asked me that question, or I'll mix it up. But they were getting ready to ask about letters of rec. Sade, let's see, are you still on? Yeah, what was your specific questions about the letter of rec? That was you, correct?
Yes, yes. I wanted to know what are the best resources for recommendation letters. I was thinking about possibly using my employer or nonprofits that I work with. Would that be good?
This is where we get this question every week, and I struggle with answering it. Let me tell you why I struggle with answering it. You know who knows you the best. Okay. We had a young lady, I'm going to use her because I laughed about it, but I thought about what she said as well. She said, well, my mom knows me the best. But my mom knows I can be a slacker as well. And so because it's like, I don't want her to write that I'm a slacker. So who do you know that knows you the best, knows you're a slacker, but when it's all said and done, still knows that you'll get it done and can articulate that in a letter for you? Okay. So whomever that person is, if that's the person at your nonprofit, if that's the person that's your professor, I will also say you want to ensure that whomever you are wanting to request a letter of recommendation from is that you ask them. Don't assume that they will do it. And please, I am begging, please don't just put their information in there, because what probably can happen is that your request is going to be just that, a request, and it does not get fulfilled. Okay. So please don't waste your time doing the application only to end up with having what we call an incomplete letter, an incomplete application, because you do not have whomever you requested that letter of recommendation to complete their portion of it. So an application, please hear me, your application is considered incomplete without both letters of rec. Okay. So just make sure that when you're getting in there that you have check, double check, and triple check that you enter their email address correctly. Okay. Phone numbers. I'm telling you, we go to bat for you. If we see somebody has not submitted their letter of rec, that you can send reminder. Once you get into the application, you'll see that you can hit resend. And if you can't, you can send an email to us at info@Rankin Foundation, or you can jump on this call and be like, hey, I need to resend this. Or that, oftentimes somebody will say, I didn't get that letter of rec. And of course, we can get that resent for you. So Sade, Catherine, Shaquita, Amber, Marion, Kelly, Jennifer, Pamela, Joanne, Michelle, everybody that is on this call, you know better than Chelsea, myself, anybody else at the Rankin Foundation who would be able to complete that letter of recommendation on your behalf the best. Okay. But what I want to stress is that you make sure that you ask them. Don't assume, please. I'm begging. Please don't assume that they'll do it. Please don't assume that they will do it in time. And then on top of that, you do not want to put yourself in a position for them to not do it. And then you're still kind of left hanging out in the balance. And I'm telling you, once it gets down to the wire, you just don't want to find yourself. So before you put their information in there, ask, give them time. This is ample time. If you are thinking about somebody, I wouldn't say ponder too long, Sade, about who can get in there and get it for you. And I will say it's real simple. once you enter their information into the application portal and you hit send, an email automatically goes over to them saying, hey, Sade has requested that you provide supporting documentation on her behalf for her Rankin Foundation Scholar Grant application. And in there, Chelsea, if you will grab the questions, this may help you, Sade, and help the others to maybe decide who you know can best answer. We only ask them 4 questions, okay? Just like you have to reply to 4 questions, we ask the letters of rec. So Chelsea is going to drop those questions that we ask, those that will complete a letter of recommendation on your behalf. So once you look at those questions, you make the decision who you think will best be able to complete the responses. And then of course that will, you can get a yes before you submit it, and that will get in there and get it done on your behalf. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Once she grabs, you're welcome, dear. Again, here, just time, I think is what's on your side at this point. You still have enough time to get in there and get the request, get the information entered, and of course, get that request made. Please, I'm begging you, do not wait until February the 14th, which is Valentine's Day, and you're spending time with your loved ones or your children or whomever you'll spend Valentine's with. And it's like, oh, the deadline is February the 16th. And you have not asked anybody to complete letter of rec for you. You want to give them the same way you're taking time now to get on this call with me, get your questions answered. You want to give them time in case they want to ask you any questions. Another suggestion and recommendation is if you're asking somebody, please send your resume over. Please send any accomplishments that you think is worth, sharing with us, that maybe if they don't know, how can they write about something if they don't know about it? But if you have written some of the things out, I think it was Amber that asked about qualities, attributes. If there's something that's amazing about you that whoever you're requesting this letter of rec from, that maybe they don't know, share it with them. So that could be something that maybe, hey, you were on the dean's list. I mean, even your transcript, say you've been on the dean's list since you've been back in school. That's something amazing. One of the questions we ask, why would, you make a good candidate for the Rankin Foundation Scholar Grant? Okay. You've been a scholar student, So anything like that you would want to make sure that they know about you and can share over, just make sure you have that conversation with them. Schedule a time. You can't be shy now if you're asking them to complete a letter of recommendation on your behalf. Maybe think about scheduling a time to sit down with them. And if they're willing to do it for you, I'm sure they will probably maybe even have some questions for you to help them craft the letter. I mean, we ask them questions, but of course they can actually add additional information as they're in there answering those questions, for you. Okay. Are we good? Everybody on the call, are we good about letters of rec? Who we should ask, when we should ask them is now. What we should share over with them when we're asking them to complete a letter of recommendation on our behalf. Okay. So I think we're going to have some amazing letters of rec coming in. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Amber. Again, if you have questions that come up later, Chelsea has put our email address in there, info@rankinfoundation.org. Definitely reach out to us. You're welcome, Kelly. Kelly, you got a question for us? I don't think I got around to you. You got a question for us?
Chelsea got me in the comments over here. Thank you so much.
Woohoo. Okay, so Chelsea, I don't know what her question was, and it could be a question. Matter of fact, Chelsea, I see you're firing off. Way to go. Are there some questions that you're answering in there that may be helpful for somebody else that is on listening in? So if so, fire away.
No, I think you've been hitting them. Kelly was just asking about a specific college profit status or not-for-profit status.
Good. I don't know that I've mentioned that, but let's talk about it since you brought it up on the recording. You do need to be attending a school that is not for profit, non-profit. It just depends. And some of it will say non-profit, some of it will say not for profit. What you don't want, you do not want, is a for-profit school. Okay. So you don't want to be attending. That's not going to be good for his eligibility, because we ask you specifically, is your school a for-profit? Why do we stress that? Why do we not want you to be attending a for-profit school? For-profit schools tend to milk the cow. That's something my grandma used to say. They will get it. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I know some students, that's their only option. But we want you to be knowledgeable about, if you're going into a for-profit school, what is that end ticket going to look like for you? And we're not going to discourage you and tell you not to go. But what we found is that oftentimes applicants that come over to us, they are so deep down in debt as it relates to attending a for-profit university. And oftentimes they cannot get the proper funding that they need to be able to successfully complete their degree. Okay. And what we don't want you to do is have a whopping debt and still no degree. We would much rather you go to somewhere that may be a lot more economical for you to go to, and then you can certainly be able to afford to complete it. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. Yes, yes, yes. A not-for-profit school is mandated to reinvest. Yes, absolutely, Pamela. I try not to get too far in the weeds, but they are. Whereas a for-profit is just that. It's for their profit. And they normally have stakeholders that kind of sit higher up that can and does benefit from those profits that they make. Okay. But she made a great point. The nonprofit or not-for-profit schools, they are required to reinvest back into the school and to the students and things of that nature. That is correct. Yeah, you can. I don't know if that's Chelsea, but you can do a quick search online to see if your school, just put your name. Hey, is University of Georgia for-profit, not-for-profit school? And it comes up. It comes up. Is the University of Montana for-profit, not-for-profit? I'm going to throw this out there. Is Phoenix a for-profit or not-for-profit school? So yeah, just know. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Chelsea. Chelsea has put in there, and I'll read the questions out. What we ask those that you will request a letter of recommendation from, especially for Michelle, since I know you don't see it. How do you know the applicant, which would be you? How long have you known the applicant? Describe the applicant's career, academic, and or career goals. So if they know you by work, they can of course describe those, but if they know you by school, they can describe those as well. Or if they know you by both, then they can just describe both. Okay. Describe the progress applicant is making toward these goals. This is where it's good to provide a transcript or to have a conversation with them so they know where, hey, I'm in my sophomore year. I got 2 more years to go. I'm looking to yada, yada, yada. Okay. And what is the applicant's potential? The next question is, what is the applicant's potential for success in her chosen field? Okay. So why do you think, why do they think you would be successful in your chosen field? And then why is the student a good candidate for the Jeanette Rankin Foundation Scholar Grant? So these are all of the questions that they are asked, and that's 5 questions. Is it 5? I think I said 4. So there's 5 questions. Is it 5 or 4? Is one group together? It is 4 questions, right, Chelsea? Or is it 5? Okay. Awesome.
Yes, it's all, it's broken up.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Thank you for putting that in there, but those are the questions. So Amber and the others on, think about who would best be able to answer those questions on your behalf, okay? All right, Tabitha, thank you for joining us. Do you have a question for us?
No, just wanted to join because I didn't even know about the foundation, but my job is doing asking for volunteers, and I thought, what a good way for myself to apply.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, and I missed it last week Wednesday to hop on, but I didn't want to miss it. I know I'm a bit late, but I didn't want to miss it. But I truly do love what the foundation is about and everything that it's doing. And so, and I'm hearing some great things tonight too. So this is very, very informational and helpful. I didn't even know, living in Miami, that that this foundation even existed. If it wasn't for my.
Yay. Well, thank you for jumping on. You know what, Tabitha, I'm sure if I polled everybody on the call, they probably wouldn't have known either. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm from Georgia, right where the foundation exists. And up until the point I was applying for a scholar grant, I didn't know the foundation existed. I'm certainly glad that I know now. And I'm glad that everybody that is on knows. Again, the main thing is getting in there, getting going with that application, just getting logged in, making sure you qualify, and just getting this head start. I think this is I say the sweet spot and time for you to be in there doing your application, because by the time that, we get to 24, that time it just almost just like it flies by. And by, the deadline is February the 16th for you to submit your application, and for those who you are requesting a letter of recommendation from to submit for that for you as well. I will say, I don't think I mentioned on there talking about the letter of rec, you will know that they've completed it on your behalf because the system will send you an email. Hey, you've received supporting documentation from whoever your recommendation number 1 and recommendation number 2. If you have not received that confirmation that they have submitted, that means they have not submitted. Okay. So that's where I say, just make sure you stay in your application and make sure you stay on top of them. Just kind of following up and checking in. That's why it's important that you give them ample time. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. I think I got through everybody. Did anybody else we got 3 minutes left. Did anybody else have any follow-up questions, any additional questions that I can address for you at this time? And as you're thinking about it, don't forget, if you got other questions that come up before next Wednesday, because we're here every Wednesday night, all the way through January the 31st at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But you can also email us at our email, which is info at Rankin, that's RANKIN foundation.org. So FOUNDATION.org. Info at rankinfoundation.org. Okay. Everybody good? That means everybody is good to go with getting into their application portal and typing away, right? Okay. Awesome. Marion, did you have a question for me?
No, I said thanks a lot for this.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you all so much for jumping on. You make the call, for coming in, having your questions ready to go. And Chelsea and I have been delighted to spend this evening with you. And we will look forward to hopefully seeing you on next week. Enjoy the rest of this amazing holiday. Happy New Year to everybody. And be safe. Be safe out there, as the kids say in these streets, because there's a lot of stuff going around. Just be safe, okay? All right. Bye for now, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you, Chelsea.